Hey, what's going on, guys? I have a video that is highly requested, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I get a lot of texts about, hey, could you talk a little bit more about peace and, what are your thoughts on such and such? I don't know, but I make a lot of videos about, auto repair and processes, and no one is curious about any of that. This is one thing that apparently everyone younger is very curious about, the guys that do watch this video. So this is for you. I'm going to share everything I know about, the things I've learned recently. I want to share that with you all, and this is a big video, so I'm going to try to make it as small as possible. What's finding peace? So I've talked about finding peace and why we look for peace is usually for its own sake. In life, everything else you do mostly is for the sake of something else. So, we talk about making money. You make money so you can have some objects, or maybe you have your freedom to do wherever you want, to do whatever you want, go wherever you want. So ultimately you can be at peace, right? So, but when you say I want to be at peace, usually that's for its own sake. So let's break this down. We're gonna have to start first of all with what you are, right? Who are you? And I believe that the human being is a multifaceted creature. Unlike, maybe other creatures, we have four parts to us. And this is something that I've learned at Hoffman. So if you hear this stuff and you know about Hoffman, this is all going to sound very familiar to you. There's four parts. There's our thoughts, there's our feelings, there's our body sensation, the body that we live in, the physical body. And then, of course, there's this deeper part to ourself, which I'm going to refer to as the spirit. The thoughts and feelings are what we consider the mind. So the thoughts come from the intellect, the feelings come from the emotional self, and put together, those two make up what's considered your mind. The body obviously is the body, and the spirit is inside. And kind of illustrate this in a diagram. You can see here that the body is where everybody lives, and then the emotion on the right side here, and the intellect is on this side here, and they put together, they make your mind, and then the spirit is what kind of is in the background at all times, kind of guiding everybody. And the other word for the spirit is, you're gonna hear me use this later here, but it's called the gut. My gut told me that it wasn't the right decision, right? I gotta listen to my gut. And when someone says you gotta listen to your gut, they're actually telling you to listen to that deep, deep part of you that is, doesn't speak language. It speaks in sensations sometimes, maybe sometimes in a weird thought or images, but it doesn't speak, right? It's not like an emotion or a feeling. It's not even a thought. It's something, it's something deeper. Okay, I'm gonna try to stay on task here. So, once again, the mind and the mind, okay, here's the thing. The mind, which is your thoughts and your feelings, they can live in the past, they can live in the present, and they can live in the future. So when you're thinking or you're feeling, you could be feeling something from the past. You could be feeling something, how something would feel in the future. Like if you're going out for dinner, you're thinking of a steak, your mouth starts to water. You're already imagining what that would feel like. Same thing with thoughts. You could think of something that happened in the past, or you could think of something that is about to happen in the future. The body, on the other hand, so the mind can live past, present, future. The body, on the other hand, and the spirit, on the other hand, they live in the present moment. So when you focus on, let's say how your arm feels, that's right now. That's the beautiful thing about the body. It's always here right now. Your body can't exist in the past or in the future. And the same thing with the spirit. The spirit is always present. It's always present in this current moment. So we're going to understand why this is such a big deal down in the rest of the video. So the thing with the mind, because it can live in the past and it can live in the future, it picks up these patterns that it can repeat. We could call them a program even. It can be manipulated, and we'll talk about manipulation in terms of dark forces, but also it's been manipulated from bad experiences, right? If you've had a terrible childhood where bad things happened, or you had a traumatic experience in life, those programs can continue to play well into your future. On the other hand, if you are somebody who had a pattern of thinking about the future and getting anxious, that's also something that can cause a pattern. And the mind becomes this machine that you train, right? So the mind, whether it's your thoughts or your emotions, they're trained. They're not something that are inherent as they are. Think of those as blank canvases that you can fill them with things. And the thing is, they can live in the past and the future. So you leave the present and you end up being anxious or depressed, depending on what you focus on, right? If you're worried about the future, you can be anxious. If you're worried about the past, you're depressed. And that's because that's how the mind works. And this is kind of a huge deal, guys. The mind can be manipulated. The mind can be manipulated. The body also stores trauma, and it can also be trained. But again, keep in mind, the body always lives in the present. So you may still carry trauma, but you're going to feel it in the present, but you're not going to be like, your body's not going to be like in the past or in the future. You feel that trauma right now. Physically, you may have some physical patterns. Here's the thing. The spirit, on the other hand, it does not have trauma. It does not have patterns. It only has wisdom in it, and it cannot be manipulated. This part of you is pure. This is part of everybody, and this is pure, and it has the wisdom of God, which we're going to get into in a second here. So the goal is to really live from and make decisions based on your spirit. Why? Because, well, it has no trauma, it has no patterns, it has wisdom, and it cannot be manipulated. So that you want to make this your home base. You want to make your spirit your home base. You want to always come right back, right? That's why it's called home base. You want to come back to the spirit. And you want to listen to the mind, which is your thoughts and feelings and body also, and fulfill its needs. But you do not want to lead. They should not lead. They do not lead. And the reason you don't want them to lead is because, again, they can be manipulated, they can store trauma, they can have patterns, so they will lead you down the wrong path, right? And not to say that they're not important, they're extremely important. You need to listen to them and fulfill the needs, but you need to make sure that you look out for negative forces that are impacting and damaging your mind and body. And that's the goals. Those are the goals that I want to point out for the finding peace. So how are we going to do that? We're going to do that by meditation. And essentially the definition for meditation for me is to stop and to make space, to make room, right? To make space so that you can watch yourself, right? Another way that meditation has been described in the traditions, in the spiritual tradition, is to watch yourself. Watch yourself. Listen, pay attention to yourself. And really what that allows you to do is to disconnect from patterns. It allows you to look at your thoughts, to look at your feelings, to look at your body, and you look at, to reconnect to your wisdom. So you're going to sit there, you breathe, we're going to talk about that here, but you're going to sit there, and you're going to just listen to your thoughts, listen to your feelings, listen to your body, and then ask your spirit for attention. And that's really, for wisdom. The spirit, again, is the true leader. You want the spirit to be in charge because that deep gut feelings that you have are essentially who you really are. All the decisions are made by the gut. The mind and body, and just rationalize it. All the decisions you've ever made, the good decisions, or honestly even the bad ones, right? They're made by the gut. The gut is what I mean by that is it's not your spirit making it. The bad decisions we make, like you ever made a decision like I should have listened to my gut, right? My gut told me to do the right thing. And then you're like, man, I should have listened, right? So you can train your gut, and meditation actually trains your gut. So again, the gut does not make bad decisions. And again, you're like saying that's crazy. No, really, the gut will always know what's right. And you know this. If you think about your life, your gut always knows what's right. The gut does not have patterns. We're all we all have that part of us that longs for peace and tranquility, right? So you may want a car because your intellect has patterns of insecurity or your emotions. You want to feel a certain type of way because you want to flex. But your gut knows that's stupid, right? And again, you're like, because the gut part of you, the spirit part of you, actually wants what's really important, which is peace and tranquility. Also the spirit allows you to live in the present, which is very important, right? If you live from your spirit, you will live in the present, which is who wants to not live in the present, right? Because what's the point of achieving things then you're not even present? And use your wisdom. That's the two things that the Spirit will let you do. You'll be in the present and you'll have your wisdom, versus if you use your intellect or your feelings or you'll be basically living in the past or in the future, which will either make you anxious or sad. This is huge, guys. This is huge. The Spirit will also connect you with your true essence. The mind and body are changing, but your spirit has never changed. It was always present. It's immortal. It is unchanged. It is who you really are, and it will be the same until really eternity. And that's really because your spirit is perfect. It is a tiny, tiny, small piece of God. And I can prove that to you right now because in the biblical tradition, in the Abrahamic tradition, in the Islamic tradition, it has said, we made man in the image of God. Or, in the Islamic tradition, God blew his spirit into Adam. And it's literally said that God says we have his spirit inside of us. We're like tiny, 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 tiny gods, right? And I'm not trying to say that to be blasphemous. I'm trying to really bring attention to the divinity that is inside of all of us, to this deep sense of us that I've never asked somebody that's like, hey man, do you really think you're just flesh and bones and thoughts? Or is there a deeper part of you that is connected to nature, to the divine, to animals? You could see this life force inside of us that's connected. You know on some inherent level you're connected to everything, including the Creator. And that spirit has the power to create order from chaos because that is a godly quality. And also another note, in the Islamic tradition, there's 99 names of God, and there's beautiful names, right? You think about the Creator, the Sustainer, the Maintainer, the Generous One, the Honorable One. You know what's interesting is that one of the traditions, it says that God shared those qualities with us because he wants to see those qualities in us. Because God loves his own qualities, he wants to see those qualities in us. And the Spirit has those qualities already built in. Built-in features, man. You're not even using them. Okay, so what are the actions? Let's just put this to on the ground now. 10 minutes of meditation in the morning and 10 in the evening. And really, it's not that hard. Sit there, breathe, close your eyes, and just listen to your thoughts. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to ask some questions. You're going to ask 2 questions. The first question you're going to ask is, number 1, each part of you, you're going to ask to your intellect, what are you thinking? To your emotional self, you're saying, what are you feeling? What are you thinking? And then listen. Give it a couple minutes. Just pay attention to your thoughts. Don't try to change them. Don't try to judge them. Just listen. See what it says. And if it goes on and on and on and on and on, okay, be like, all right, I see you. I see you. And then move on to the next question and say, hey, so what can I do for you today? Like a friend would ask you, right? Or you would ask a friend, hey, intellect, what are you thinking? And intellect just goes on for 2 straight minutes. Okay, all right. Okay, what do you need or want from me today? What do you need or want from me today? And then listen. Pay attention. Okay, you need me to stop. Okay, you need me to make a to-do list. Or you need me to knock out that task that's bothering us. Okay, got it. Thank you. And then end with thank you. Thank you for talking to me, intellect. And then move on to your feelings. Hey, what are you feeling today? And then listen. Listen to what you're feeling. Don't judge. Don't be like, oh, I shouldn't feel anxious. Oh, I shouldn't. No. Listen. If you're feeling anxious, like, okay, I see that. I see I'm feeling anxious. Oh, I feel sad. Oh, I feel excited. Oh, I feel kind of mellow. Whatever the feeling is, listen. Don't be judgmental. Be a good friend to yourself. Love that part of yourself. Let them talk to you. See what it says. And then when they're done, again, ask, hey, the feeling part of me, what do you want or need from me today? What do you want or need from me right now? And you may hear a child that's been neglected because you don't ever listen. I know I was there. It's like, hey, I just want you to listen, man. That's enough for me. If that's all you can do, that's wonderful. I'd love for you to just listen to me more. And then make a promise to listen to yourself later in the day. Same thing with your body. What are you feeling? Just kind of scan your body, toes all the way to your head. Feel the sensations in your body. Feel any pain or any strength that you may feel, any comfort, and feel that part of you. And then again, ask yourself, what do you want or need from me, body, today? And body might say, man, I need you to give me some protein, dude, or I need you to give me water, or we need to go to sleep, or it's time to take a shower. Whatever it is, make a note. And finally, you get to the spirit and you say nothing. You just silence. Now that you've scanned over the 3 parts of you, the last part should be very quiet. Because why? Because you will find that in your experience, if you go through these, at least in my experience, when I do the body and the thoughts and the emotions, and I get to the spirit, which I'm just quiet, the rest of the three, they quiet down and they allow me to just breathe. And when I breathe, that's usually when I feel connected to my gut, to my spirit. And I just let that, it's hard to explain, right? Because that's the part where you'll understand what I mean if you do this enough. Like, there's a part of you that is connected. You will feel the light go inside of you. Light is, by the way, one of the qualities of God as well. And it's also a quality of your spirit. And when you feel that light inside, from the inside, your eyes will be closed and you will feel illumination. And you allow your spirit to speak to you in sensations, or in a thought, or in emotion, or just an image. Whatever will come to you, just let it come to you. Allow that wisdom to flow through you. And whatever it means, you don't have to worry about it. Just allow it to flow through you so you can understand yourself a little bit more and understand God, understand the universe. And in that moment, you are connected with your deep wisdom. Once you do these 4 things, right, you go through yourself and you scan all parts of you, and you listen and you act on all the things that these parts of you told you, and you listen to the Spirit. What you've done is you're actually connected to the true, deep wisdom that's inside of you. And guys, I'll tell you this to wrap this all up. When we cater to and love all parts of ourselves, we find joy, we find presence, we find wisdom, we find love. Love that is true love. It's not external love. This is true love that the Bible talks about, that Jesus talked about, that all things are from God or from love. And that's the kind of love we're talking about. You will find peace. That's what you will find as a result of that. And guys, that peace is the beautiful thing about peace is it's inside of you right now, even as you listen to me. It's inside of you. That peace, joy, presence, wisdom, and love, it's a part of all of you. It's inside of you, inside of your spirit. All you need to do is just reconnect to that. And just to wrap up all of this thing in a diagram, here's your body, right? Here are your thoughts. Here's your emotions, spirit. And what you've done when you meditate is you bring your focus inside, right into the intersection of your spirit, body, emotion, and thoughts. And when you bring your focus to the center, what it does is it recenters you, and it recenters your focus. That's why meditation is so powerful. And literally, as long as you can check human history, humans have meditated, because it recenters us back to what we really are, which is to our spirit, which is to the center of our being, right here. And it allows us, as that focus is made, as that connection is made, we become peace. We become peace. I want you to know that. We don't find it. We really become peace. When you do this, you won't just find peace, you will be peace. Thank you, guys. I hope this helps, and if this is too new agey for you, please let me know, but I will tell you right now, don't knock it till you try it. As a blue-collar dude from Michigan, I laughed at it as well when I went on these retreats. And it's one thing to laugh at it, it's another thing to experience it and be like, holy crap, I was so wrong. So anyway, don't knock it till you try it. Good luck.